It's awesome to be with you tonight, and I hope you're going to enjoy the talk on colostrum. So, for me tonight, I'm going to focus on what is in the can. It's very important. We talk about all kinds of things in colostrum, but to know what is in the can is very important. We all drink this colostrum. It's amazing colostrum. Colostrum, for those people that don't know what it is, it's the first milk from the cow to the calf. It's the first milk in all mammals from the mother to the child. And it's a very important component of life in in us humans, and also more so in animals, uh, like the human of the bovine colostrum, which is the colostrum from the cow. Um, it is absolutely the kickstart of life for a calf. Now, the reason for that is the calf is being born without an immune system. So the umbilical cord that connects the cow with the calf is closed for antibody transformation. So with us humans, we receive immunity from the mother to the child, but with a cow, that umbilical cord is closed. So the calf is being born out there in nature, not in hospital, without an immune system. So if the calf doesn't get this colostrum, there's no immune system. They usually can't survive it out there. Secondly, it contains a whole toolbox of enzymes, um, proteins, things that kickstart the digestive tract and help that digestive tract to start digesting the food so that it can absorb the food. And therefore, it's very important for a calf to get the colostrum. If it doesn't get the colostrum, it cannot grow, it cannot develop, and it's got no immune system. I was at a rehabilitation farm at Hoedspruit uh, in the northern part of Limpopo, where there was a rhino cow that was poached, and the calf was uh, taken away from the scene. And when we got there, the calf was totally blown up, totally bloated, and the vet was there, and the veterinarian gave antibiotics. Oh boy, antibiotics, and he should have just given the calf colostrum. It is clearly that the calf didn't get any colostrum. So I said to the owner there, I had 2 bottles of probiotic bacteria with me in the car, and I said, give this probiotic bacteria to the calf, but rush off to your nearest cattle farmer because they usually freeze the colostrum. That if a cow dies at birth or giving birth of the calf, then they need colostrum. So that afternoon, he got colostrum and he gave the colostrum to the calf. And a week later, he called me back. He says, unbelievable. That calf recovered immediately because it received colostrum. I also had an opportunity in the Pretoria Zoo here. There was a hippo that gave birth to a little hippo, and they had to take the calf away because the mother hurt the calf. And so the calf didn't get any colostrum. And it was about day 5 when I got there. And that calf at that stage didn't want to drink, it's just on survival mode. And I called my practice immediately and asked the lady to courier us a tin of this colostrum. We make up this colostrum for the calf. We used 5 times the dosage as for humans, and the calf the next day was already in a much better shape. And today, that calf is a big hippo. We couldn't have saved that calf without the colostrum. This is how important it is. If you look at the Masai Mara, where there's huge amount of blue wildebeest having calves at the same time, So there's thousands of little calves there, and then they have to move on, and the herd just starts moving. So within 3 days, that calf needs to run at full speed. How will that calf do that without colostrum? It will not do it without colostrum. And that's the kickstart of life for all mammals. So that's just the introduction to the colostrum. Tonight, I want to spend more time on what is in the can. All right. So, first of all, it is important that we look at what is in the colostrum. For me, the biggest advantage of the colostrum, except that it's good nutrition, is the antibodies that's in colostrum. And by being now in a COVID situation, I think this is the one of the things that we need to focus on is how does this colostrum help my immune system. So first of all, I'm going to break down all the kinds of antibodies that is in the colostrum. The one is IgG. It helps to identify and destroy pathogens. So it's very important. This antibody binds to the virus. It's identifying the virus as foreign, and then it starts killing the virus because it's foreign. Then we have IgM. It just in destroy invading pathogens. So with the IgG, it builds up memory against this virus, so it can identify and kill. And it's usually after there was a virus, we start building up memory against it. So we see the IgG is an antibody that builds up memory against it. And then we've got the IgM that destroys invading pathogens. And so then we also have IgA. Now the difference between one of the big differences between bovine colostrum, the cow's colostrum, and human colostrum. Remember this one because at the end we're gonna give prizes away, and I'm gonna ask questions concerning this lecture. Okay, so now the big difference between the bovine colostrum, the cow's colostrum, and us human colostrum is that the bovine colostrum contains way much more IgG. Why? Um, that calf has been born in the wild, so it needs immediate memory plus attack capabilities for survival. While with us humans, remember we receive antibodies from mother to child, we have much more IgA antibodies. And this IgA antibodies is the first line of defense that protects the gut. So IgA works like a body paint. So it paints the gut, and any pathogens that wants to attach to the gut lining can't attach properly because this IgA makes it difficult for them to attach. So that's the two main differences in, or the biggest difference in bovine colostrum versus human colostrum. Now, if we look at IgE, it also contains IgE, and IgE is an antibody that's concerned with allergic reactions. And so it helps the body to build up a response against foreign material. Then we also have IgD, and that one stimulates the lymphocytes to produce antibodies. Oh, very important. Let me quickly explain that system to you. I've done that in a lecture in the past, but it's always good to know that the lymphatic system is a system. I always say it's like a sewage system. It accumulates toxins from the area, and it goes into the lymphatic system, and then we have lymph nodes, which contain specific white blood cells called lymphocytes, and it, those sites are like a train station. So this train with toxins runs into the station, and then suddenly it stops there, and we have lots of antibodies and white blood cells that gets into the train and gets rid of pathogens, and then the train moves on, and the next station it stops again, and we've got lymphocytes again piling onto this train and gets rid of toxins and pathogens and so on. So this IgD stimulates those lymphocytes to produce antibodies. So as we go along, we just improve our intelligence of the immune system. And that's one of the beauties of colostrum. It helps to improve the intelligence of your own immune system. So then a very important factor of what is in the can is lots of glycoproteins. Glycoproteins, they bind to the gut lining cells, and if pathogens come into the gut, these specific proteins disrupt the proteins of that virus. So that virus either gets killed or gets stupid or get flushed out, but it suffers to bind to the gut lining because we don't want those viruses to dock to the gut lining, because once it gets through the gut lining, it's in your blood system. So the biggest lining of defense, the first line of defense, is your gut lining. It makes up 70% of the body's immune system. So why do you bother with 30% if the gut makes up 70%? So if colostrum naturally focuses more on the gut, why don't you also focus on the gut? Why do you want to go for a very expensive human globulin injection while you get your first line of defense of antibodies naturally in the alpha lipid colostrum? It's immediately there. It starts working immediately and supports your 70% of your immune system immediately. Okay, that's the biggest one. So with this glycoproteins, it's so nice because they start working on invading pathogens immediately. Now, to me, one of the big factors in colostrum is the PRPs, proline rich polypeptides. Now, these polypeptides explore the body to modulate and direct the immune system. And so, in the bovine, colostrum is immediate protection also from the PRPs. These PRPs are specific proteins, intelligent proteins that can switch on the immune system when needed. So, if there's an invasive virus, it switches on the immune system immediately. It starts working on this pathogen and focusing on this pathogen because it's intelligent related. So it lurks the fighter cells, the white blood cells, to a specific area, and then they start with the killing process. So immediate protection from those specific proteins that acts as immune modulators. And then it also can switch off the immune system after the fight. So after the virus threat is gone, it switches off the immune system. If that doesn't happen, you can end up with an autoimmune disease. So this is why I use bovine colostrum, very effective in the protection of the immune system that fights against autoimmune diseases, how to get intelligence into your immune system and get protection, your own body's protection and control back the natural way. Then, great for it is growth factors. To complete the development of the newborn gut is one of the main factors. A baby is born with a leaky gut. It means that those gut cells in the gut lining hasn't connected completely yet. So stuff can leak through. And these growth factors are there to stimulate the gut lining to grow and close up. It's very important because if it doesn't close up, foreign stuff can leak through the gut lining into the bloodstream and cause an infection, an inflammation, and or an allergic response. So babies that doesn't get mother's milk are actually born allergic, or the potential to be very allergic throughout their childhood until the gut has been developed and the leaky gut closed up. But luckily, we've got the bovine colostrum, which is not species specific. So us humans can use this. So if that baby didn't get the breast milk, the first colostrum, you can still give it colostrum, even this from a cow. That's why the alpha lipid colostrum is so safe, because the bovine colostrum is not species specific, and we can give it to the baby even right at birth, and that will stimulate the gut lining to close up and get rid of baby allergies. Then we look at the digestive system also in terms, sorry for that, let me just rewire again. So we also look then at the bovine colostrum in terms of digestive enzymes. So we look at the gut and we see that this first line of defense also need function. So these enzymes help to digest the food. And you say, yeah, but I'm lactose sensitive. Then I've got good news for you, because in the can is also lactase. Lactase is the enzyme that helps to break down the lactose. So if you're lactose sensitive, you also have the enzyme that needs to break down the lactose. So lactose sensitive people can also use the bovine colostrum, the alpha lipid colostrum. Now, these enzymes help to digest our food. So people that are di- um, constipated, they get great use of the enzymes that's in the bovine colostrum. Connected to that is the probiotic bacteria. So if I read here on the can, it says here um, alpha lipid, the complex milk lipid, um, contains probiotics at the time of manufacturing 1 billion CFUs, that's colony forming units. That, that is per dosage. So per 100 grams, it gives you 6 billion colony forming units. That is at the, okay. So obviously, along the way, some of the bacteria um, die off, but still it contains plenty of good bacteria. And this bacteria helps with the digestion, and with the digestion, uh, uh, in conjunction with the digestive enzymes, it helps you to get rid of constipation and all kinds of gut related problems. Right, so then we look at the nutritional value of this thing. So obviously, the calf gets food in terms of carbohydrates, fats, proteins, sugars. It's a complete meal for the calf and also for us humans. So, yeah, but it's going to make me fat, because look at the calf. The calf gains weight immediately. It, yeah, but look at the amount of colostrum that the calf takes in comparing to what we're going to take in. At the same time, I want to surprise you. In terms of energy, it says there the average um, energy intake per serving is only 50 calories. So show me a diet that gives you food for 50 calories. That doesn't happen. So if you use this as a breakfast drink and you are on a 1200 calorie restriction diet, you've only used 50 calories. So I prefer to have a light meal and your colostrum. So you can have oats and have your colostrum with the oats, and you have only 50 calories from the colostrum. So this is an amazing drink that can help you in any form of diet, because it is complete nutrition. All the proteins, carbohydrates, sugars, vitamins, minerals, everything that you need is in here. So it's great for the sports people. If you want to use your protein supplement, you can still use your protein supplement, but don't mix it with milk. Mix it with 1.5 scoop of colostrum, and if you're this big boy that does bodybuilding, you use 2 scoops. 2 scoops into your bodybuilding powder, and you will see amazing things happen. What will happen? There are growth stimulants in this thing. Listen, not growth hormone, growth stimulants. These growth stimulants stimulate growth and recovery. So after every hard session, you want your muscle cells to grow and to recover. And that's where IGF-1, which is in this, helps with growth and recovery. That same IGF-1 also stimulate blood glucose normalization. So it helps to normalize your blood sugar levels. So my next talk will be on diabetes, especially type 1 diabetes. And I will have one of my patients that was on insulin for many years, and he's going to join me on a talk on type 1 diabetes and how this insulin like growth factor 1, IGF-1, and the autoimmune treatment that we have in uh, New Image helped him to get rid of his insulin, and he's insulin free now for many months and feeling great, looking great, lost weight, and gained energy. So let's move on. I want to spend a little bit time still on the immune system. Um, Now, if we look at the pandemic that's currently going, we have great talks on how colostrum and all the different new image products like the ImmuFort, the stunning Cellworks that I love so much, how these products work together against COVID. Stunning. I like that. I'm not going to focus on that tonight. I want to ask you a question. Those people that already had COVID, what are you doing for recovery? So, some people still have the loss of smell or the loss of taste. Some people still have an compromised immune system uh, after the COVID. Some people still lack an energy, or they had the bad diarrhea, and the whole microbiome of the gut is being destroyed. So, what are you doing post COVID recovery? That's my question for you tonight. So, if you have this can, you have proper nutrition, first of all. Secondly, you regain your health, you regain your immune system, you are regaining gut protection, you normalize your gut microbiome, you bringing back intelligence into your immune system, you build up immunity and intelligence against the virus that you had. So, isn't that the ideal drink that you should take after COVID? Absolutely. And it gives you that protection that if the COVID comes around a second time or a third time, you will have proper protection against it. So, it's very important to look at components to help you to recover. I just quickly want to bring in Cellworks again, um, especially for the people with the loss of smell. So, in the sinus cavity, right here at the top, we have specific epithelium cells and or mucus cells. It forms a mucus membrane. The virus enters through those cells, then get into your brain, and then can damage the nerves that actually signaling smell to the brain. So what can we do to uh, bring back that smell sensation again? The cell works is there with its oligosaccharides, and those oligosaccharides are there for nerve protection and recovery of nerve cells. Right, remember in that talk that I've given you last time, I've used this electrical cable to demonstrate it. So we have electrical current coming in this side, and at this synapse, we strengthen the message, and then it conveys further with this dendrite from one neuron to another neuron. So from one nerve cell to another nerve cell, we strengthen the message between the two nerve cells. And this is where the cell works comes in. It helps you to convey this message and makes this message stronger. And then recovering of your smell at the same time. Right. So this is one of the wonderful ways that colostrum can help you post COVID. Okay. So let's have a look at some more interesting facts concerning the immune system. So when we look at the three layers of the immune system, the first one is a physical layer. The second one is what we call the innate immune system. And then the third one is the adaptive immune system. I don't have time tonight to fully explain those three systems. So for tonight, I'm just going to work on the physical one. Okay. So the physical barriers, first of all, the skin. It's the largest organ in the body. And the skin gives that number one protection from the outside. Okay. So the skin, very important in terms of defense because it can block out certain harmful bacteria and viruses or pathogens and makes it difficult for them to get into the body. The second one is the mucous membranes. Now remember I've told you about this mucous membrane in the brain and the sinus and that connection in terms of smell. We've also got mucous membranes in the mouth, mucous membranes in the lungs, and mucous membranes in the gut. So those mucous membranes are very, very important. They actually have their own kind of immune system. And this is where colostrum comes in terms of the lactoferrin. So with the lactoferrin, this is a specific protein binded to iron, and it is known for carrying iron into the body, but it's also there to prevent pathogens to bind to the mucous cell lining. So on this mucous cell lining, we've got certain springboards, or we've got little antennas. So this is my body cell. Nothing can enter this cell unless the cell allows it. But now a virus acts like a thief. It comes and sits on certain antennas on this cell. So we use these antennas. For instance, insulin comes and sits on one of these antennas. It conveys a message to the cell, open up, glucose wants to come in, and glucose comes through the cell membrane. So the cell membrane is there solely for protection against pathogens. So now this virus, this COVID, sits on one of these springboards and it waits for an opening and then it gets through that springboard into, or this antenna, into the cell, and it uses our DNA to replicate itself. So the nice thing about lactoferrin is it blocks that springboard for the virus. So when the virus wants to connect to the cell, the lactoferrin sits as a thin layer there, and it makes it difficult for it to bind to the receptor in the cell and go into the cell. At the same time, the lactoferrin can also bind to a virus cell and robs it of its iron, and then the virus dies off. So, a very important factor of lactoferrin, and that's why I like lactoferrin in the bovine colostrum as one of the defense mechanisms against COVID. So again, back to the first layer of protection, the physical barriers, the mucous membranes, I've explained that now. And very important, the gut lining makes one of those physical barriers. Remember, 70% of the body's immune system is the gut lining. It gives us first protection on the skin. It gives us protection on the gut lining. It gives us protection in the stomach wall itself and in the intestines and then in the mucous membranes. Right. So for now, folks, that's all that I want to tell you about the colostrum, the bovine colostrum in Alpha Lipid. It took me many years, but I found the perfect colostrum in the new Image Alpha Lipid Lifeline colostrum. I've been using it in my practice as a natural health practitioner since 2009. So what that made, this is the 12th year now going in New Image, and therefore there is no other colostrum like this colostrum. And the patent that they've got on this colostrum, the Alpha Lipid patent, is a unique patent that makes this colostrum different from other colostrums. And there's only one colostrum that you can give with safety to any person in any form of rehabilitation, and that's the Alpha Lipid colostrum. So we're going to give some gifts away again. Let me just get to this place over here. All right, so let's see. I've got 6 cans of the Shape Up to give away. So I'm going to ask 3 questions, and the first correct answer popping up on my screen, I'm going to write down your name, and you will be the winner of this 2 cans of the Shape Up. Okay, so my first question is, right there in the beginning, I told you about the difference between the bovine colostrum, this colostrum, the cow's colostrum, versus the human colostrum. So in terms of antibodies, what is the difference in terms of antibodies? The one has got an IG what and the other one has got the IG what. Give me those 2 antibodies, and we'll see who's the first one that's correct. Jade. Okay, so we've got let me just see why that I see all the people that tries to answer. All right, so now it's coming in. So, oh yes, there I see the one. Nirmala Naidu, you've got it right. So the difference is between the 2 colostrums. The bovine colostrum has got IgG, and the human colostrum has got IgA. Fantastic. Let me quickly have a look. Okay, Benicio also got it right, but you were just a little bit late. Nirmala Naidu. Thank you very much, and congratulations with your 2 cans. Okay, so I like this. This is quite fun. So my second question is, name one of the physical barriers in the first layer of the immune protection. So I've named a few. So you can just give me one of those layers, barriers of the first layer of the immune system. Yes, there she is, Nirmala Duki. Nirmala Duki. Fantastic. You said the skin. You are 100% correct. We also have Manette was just too late. One of my patients. Welcome, Manette. The gut, 100%. That's a good answer. And I see skin. Gut lining. Fantastic. Ashika Reddy. And you're all right. It was just the one with the quickest finger that got this one right. Nirmala Duki, well done with your answer there. Then the third one, it's called um, lactoferrin, is known to carry iron in the body, um, but it's also effective in preventing the pathogens to do what? Remember, the cell pathogens want to enter. So, what does it's very effective in doing what the lactoferrin makes it so difficult for pathogens to enter the cell. Okay, we've got already a lot of answers coming in. I'm just looking for a specific one. So, on this cell membrane is certain antennas that they use it as a springboard. So, what is it doing to that antenna that acts as a springboard? Well, not you again. I'm going to give somebody else a chance now. Um, okay, here's not a nice simple answer. It bounces the virus off from Kerry Karasi. So I'm going to make you the winner of this one. It Nirmala Duki again with a great answer. It robs the virus from iron. That's also good. But the one that I was specifically looking for, um, it makes it difficult for the virus to bind to the cell. It bounces off the springboard. That's why I use the word springboard. What do you do when you spring on the springboard, jump on the springboard? This thing struggles to bind to the cell because it bounces off the springboard. And so Gary said it bounces the virus off. Thank you very much, people. Have a nice evening. And I'm looking forward to talk to you again while I'm having this discussion with my diabetes patient. And then we've got something special coming up for you for Valentine's Day. Me and my wife, we're going to do a talk together. You're going to love that one. I promise you. Thank you, people. Bye bye.